What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. Hope all is well. Now, I said I was going to do this a couple of days ago, so let's get it out there. Let's drop a bomb on this once and for all. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the tendency of our critics here in the fandom to try to shut us up by saying it's just for kids. Okay, we've all heard it. Whenever you want to be critical about Disney, Star Wars, or anything else that you might be critical about, movies, TV shows, or whatever, inevitably, you're going to have people who come back at you with something like, they try to shame you by saying, why would you care about this? You're a grown man. You're a grown woman. This is just for kids. Why would you care about this? You know what I mean? They'll tell you that you shouldn't have any opinions about this whatsoever. Look, let's just cut through all the BS. What they're really saying is, we want to be free to not think. Just shut up. We don't want to hear what you have to say, is basically what they're saying. We want to be some mindless consumers, and you're ruining it for the rest of us by actually saying something that makes us think. You've heard people say that before. Be quiet. You're making too much sense. You think too much. That's basically what's going on here. Now, unfortunately, the problem is, if you want to be ignorant, you can be ignorant. If you want to be lazy, you can be lazy as a caretaker, as a parent. When you talk about something that is just for kids, let's take it from that perspective, okay? Just for kids. Your kids have parents. That would be you, all right? Or caretakers, or whatever the case may be. Us as a society, okay? Even if you don't have kids. All right, when you have something like Star Wars, you must keep in mind, okay, the most obvious response that I have for that would be that all of the Star Wars movies up until Revenge of the Sith were rated PG. There is no Star Wars live action motion picture that I know of that is rated G for general audiences. All of them are PG. Okay, PG means parental guidance suggested. Okay, let's break that down a little bit more. PG, all right, this would be A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones. They were all PG. This means that some material may not be suitable for children. A PG-rated motion picture should be investigated by the parents. You hear that? It should be investigated by the parents. So what part of that do you not understand when you're saying it's just for children? You should shut up. If you're a parent, you should be investigating it if you're not lazy or ignorant. The PG rating indicates, in the view of the rating board, that parents may consider some material unsuitable for their children, and parents should make that decision. Okay, so that's what you get from the first 5 Star Wars motion pictures under George Lucas, okay? Now, from Revenge of the Sith on, and that includes the counterfeit Star Wars movies, the Disney Star Wars movies, these movies were rated PG-13. That would be Revenge of the Sith, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, Return of Skywalker, Solo, Rogue One, all of them. PG-13. And what that basically means is that some material may be inappropriate for children under 13. Now, there's some video footage floating around of George Lucas saying that Star Wars is a movie for 12-year-olds, okay? Keep in mind, he was talking about the movies that he made, number one, because we all know that now George Lucas is not creatively in control of anything that is Star Wars. He said that much as well. But okay, let's assume that Star Wars is a movie for 12-year-olds. Like I said before, that does not dismiss your responsibility as parents, number one, as evidenced by the rating system, all right? And number two, okay, it can be a movie for 12-year-olds. That doesn't mean that it's just for 12-year-olds. Many of us got into Star Wars when we were 12 years old or younger, or maybe not even born yet. We got into it later. But do you give up something? Is it something that you just age out of? You know, I got into Star Wars. Star Wars came out before I was 12 years old, all right? I was still in like low single digits when Star Wars came out, okay? Is it something that you just age out of after a while? Do you just age out of your favorite baseball team? You watch this specific baseball team or sports team when you were a child, but when you grow up, all of a sudden you lose your passion for that? Oh, it's something I was into when I was 5 or 7 years old. I'm older now, so I don't watch baseball anymore. All right? Or your favorite band or rock group, music group. You know, you were into them when you were younger. Now, you know, I'm too old for that now. I'm not going to watch that now. No, that's not usually the way it happens. You usually have a love for something that is put into you when you're young, and you keep that love, you keep that passion, you keep that appreciation. All right. But you know, like I said, it's just for 12-year-olds. So when you age out of it, you move away from it. Regardless, okay, PG-13 means that some material may be inappropriate for children under 13. A PG rating is a sterner warning by the ratings board to parents to determine whether their children under the age of 13 should view the motion picture, as some material may not be suited for them. A PG-13 motion picture may go beyond the PG rating in theme, violence, nudity, sensuality, language, adult activities, or other elements. I will also put in there sexuality, okay, because this is what really they're into these days, pushing this idea of sexuality, gender, you know, things like that. It may be inappropriate for children who are under 13 because they are, in fact, too young to be really pondering and digesting and thinking about and grasping that concept, which makes it so, why it's so devious that they would have this in public schools and things like that. You know, they would have these in children's books. You know, children's books should have a PG-13 rating as well for you lazy parents who are out there and ignorant parents. Okay, now listen, there you have it. Okay, like I said, if the rating system is not enough to convince you guys that it's not just for kids and it shouldn't dismiss your responsibility as parents, let's get into this example that I have. And I think this is a great example. You guys might remember a movie called Wizard of Oz. All right, remember Wizard of Oz back in the day? What was that, like 1930 something that it came out? Beloved children's classic. Okay, everybody knows the Wizard of Oz, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, Dorothy, There's No Place Like Home, all of that stuff. Now, you guys, did you know that there was a sequel that was made to the Wizard of Oz back in the day? It was called Return to Oz. Okay, so remember, this is based on a beloved children's classic. Okay, it was accepted as such. Okay, let's read a little bit about Return to Oz, okay, because this is an example of what I'm talking about, why you can't afford to just say something is just for children, okay? Let's get into the plot of Return to Oz. Dorothy discovers she's back in the land of Oz and finds the yellow brick road is now a pile of rubble and the Emerald City is in ruins. Discovering that the magical land is now under the control of an evil empire, she sets off to rescue the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion with the help of her new friends. Now, Return to Oz explores the darker side of the Oz books, as exhibited in the second and third sequels. It begins with Dorothy being sent to a sanitarium for primitive electroshock therapy in a vain attempt to get the thoughts of Oz out of her head. Okay, so you have a movie where Dorothy, the beloved children's stories heroine, is now being electroshocked, primitive electroshock therapy to get memories of Oz out of her head. Okay, keep in mind, this movie had a PG rating just like Star Wars. It's less than the PG-13 rating that the sequel trilogy has, okay? With a theme like that, Dorothy getting electroshocked. Let's read a little bit more about this, okay? This is on Wikipedia now. Return to Oz is a 1985 dark fantasy film released by who? Check this out. It's a dark fantasy film released by Walt Disney Pictures. It was released by Walt Disney Pictures, okay? Walt Disney Pictures, now I don't know why you're surprised by this. Walt Disney Pictures, they're the same company that had images of phallic symbols put into their promotional movie posters for The Lion King, The Little Mermaid, what was the other one? Aladdin, you know, things like that. They had the word sex that was camouflaged into certain stills of their cartoons for children. Okay, this is that Walt Disney Pictures. Why would Walt Disney Pictures release a movie based upon a children's classic about a little girl being subjected to electroshock therapy? Walt Disney Pictures, guys. It's just for kids. What are you getting upset about, they say. Let's read a little bit more about this, okay? This is what some of the reception to this was, all right, back then. Amélie Gillette of the AV Club frequently refers to its dark nature as unsuitable for its intended audience of young children, although it had been one of her favorite movies growing up. Other reviews describe the movie as a horror show flying under the banner of family entertainment. Okay, guys, if there's any of you who were children back in 1985, if you were born, all right, who were subjected to that movie, please sound off in the comment section. Let me know what it was like for you. I never actually saw this movie, but if your parents took you here thinking that it was just for children, please let me know. Okay, listen, this is how the forces of evil work. Okay, This is how predators work. They separate parents from the children. That's what they do. This is a daycare center for children. It's for children. So you can leave your children here. This operates on the basis of trust. You have to have trust in order to do what they're doing. In order for them to take advantage of you, they take advantage of your trust. Okay, so that's basically what we're talking about. And you will find this in many institutions that are geared towards children. All right, whether it's the clergy, I'm sorry, I said it, whether it's daycare, whether it's healthcare, whether it's medical procedures, anything like that. If they say that it's for children, it's your responsibility as parents to do your due diligence and to find out what you're trusting your children to. I've said it before in many videos in the past. Our children trust us, so we have to be extra. We have to pay extra attention to who it is that we trust. We can't be lazy and we can't be ignorant and just say it's just for children and just leave it alone. You should be ashamed of yourself. All of you people out there who say that, when we're critical about the things that we're critical about, even if it's about plot, you have to understand that this is something that should be. You should be using your brain. Even if it's like I said, even if it's something that goes against lore and continuity, the devil is in the details with all of this stuff. All right, it's something that should be paid attention to. All right, right now everything is being weaponized against us. Definitely weaponized against our children. All of this perverted LGBTQ gender reassignment crap that's being put and pushed into these things. Now, LGBTQ, it can be debatable whether or not that is perversion in itself. Okay, that is debatable, to be fair. All right, but the perversion is there nonetheless. Just as a perversion of black concerns is in these movies as well. You know, all of this representation and inclusion and all of this stuff is nothing short of perversion. It's weaponization. Weaponization. Yeah. So you know what I mean. It's being weaponized against us. Okay. So it behooves us to continue to question everything that's put in front of us, because the majority of it is a lie. You must accept that going forward. That's a good first step that stops you from saying ignorant ass shit like it's just for kids. It's never just for kids. And you're a fool if you think so. You're ignorant and you're lazy as a parent, and you're ignorant and you're lazy as a thinker, even worse. And there are people who are going to take advantage of that every time. All right, guys, that's what I have to say about that. I said I was going to address it, and I have. You can get in the comment section and let me know how you feel about this. As always, I thank you for listening. I thank you for your likes. I thank you for your subscription. I thank you for your support, for your super thanks, all of that stuff. I love you greatly. I will catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.